Evidence continues to mount regarding Hamas's use of hospitals as bases of operation and screens for their terrorist activities. In recent days, the IDF released a video of an interrogation of a Gaza hospital director in which he admits to being recruited as a Hamas commander to turn the Adwa hospital into military facilities. He explained how Hamas would prioritize their missions over the welfare of patients at the hospital, and that they would rather murder Jews than save Palestinian lives. And as Israel says its war in Gaza will take months to complete, there are signs that another temporary truce to free hostages may be in the works. We'll get into all the details of all of that here on today's show. I'm Justin, and this is the Israel Guys. Welcome to the Israel Guys, where we believe that in a world of Jew hatred and anti-Israel propaganda, you should have a direct connection to the land and people of Israel. Welcome back, guys. We're going to get into a lot of different things that are happening in Israel today. But first off, make sure you hit that subscribe button here on YouTube or wherever you're watching on other platforms. Also, like this video, hit the notification bell so you don't miss any of the content that we're putting out every single week. Also, go follow us on our other social media channels. You can also join us on Telegram. You can click the link in the description below if you want to check that out. So the IDF so far, just a quick report of what has been happening in Gaza in recent days. The IDF says it has carried out strikes against more than 300 targets in the Gaza Strip over the past day. Some of these strikes were directed by ground forces during battles against Hamas operatives. The IDF says those strikes by the Air Force and Navy have killed dozens of Hamas operatives and destroyed the terror group's infrastructure. Thank God. The IDF is continuing to make progress and expand operations in the southern Gaza city of Khan Yunis, where it's believed that the top Hamas leaders are hiding. Hopefully they find the leaders. At the same time, they're engaged in fierce battles with terrorists in Gaza City neighborhoods. However, unfortunately, many soldiers have lost their lives in the battle for Gaza, in the battle in Gaza. The cost of war has come with a very high cost. There have been 133 IDF soldiers have so far been killed since the ground invasion into Gaza first started. So that's what's happening in Gaza as of right now, as of recording time on Wednesday afternoon. But I want to get into something that is quite crazy. In a video released by the Shin Bet, the director of a Gaza hospital, his name is Ahmed Kalot, he admitted to Israeli interrogators that he had been recruited by Hamas to help turn the Gaza Strip's medical centers into military facilities. Watch this.
وصف لي كيف الحماس استخدم في المستشفى تبعك لتخباية نشيدين عسكريين.
هم اللي خبوهم بشكل رسمي لهم تنسيق اللي أنا بعرف حسب الموظف هم القيادات السياسية هم المسؤولين الكبار مسؤولين عسكري ومدني كان لهم غرف يتخبوا فيها قعدوا فيها تقريبا 10 أيام بعدين غيروا الأماكن لمكان تاني وبعدين طلعوا برا المستشفى.
ليش بيدخلوا في المستشفى؟
عشان المستشفى أمان لهم. لا يستهدفوا يعني في المستشفى.
كم واحد أجوا؟
هو إجا وقت في المستشفى صاروا بالعشرات يعني قرابة 100.
Craziness, right? During the interrogation, we didn't have time to play the entire video, but Kalot described how Hamas used hospitals and ambulances to hide operatives, launch military activity, transport members of terror squads, and even deliver a kidnapped Israeli soldier. He also said later in the video, he said he personally knew 16 medical personnel, say, in the hospital who were part of the Al-Qassam Brigade. The Al-Qassam Brigade is the military wing of Hamas. He said this, as part of the interrogation. He said, quote, Hamas's offices inside the hospitals. There are places for senior officials. They also brought a kidnapped soldier there. There's a designated place for investigations, internal security, and special security. They all have private phone lines inside the hospital. He mentioned a kidnapped soldier that Hamas had kidnapped. He explained that Hamas uses private ambulances. It has a different color and no license plate. It was used to bring the kidnapped soldier and to transfer bodies. It comes and goes and does not take down the wounded. He went on. Once I begged them to take a wounded man to the Indonesian hospital for healing, for treatment. They refused. Their mission is more important. Their mission of killing Jews. No, Hamas does not care one single little bit about their own people. They would rather kill Jews. They would rather murder Jews than save their own people's lives. And get this. This is what he said. This is what he thinks of Hamas's top senior officials and leaders. He said Hamas's leaders, quote, are cowards. They left us in the field while they hide. They destroyed us. That's what he thinks of Hamas's leaders. So, for all of you blaming Israel for bombing hospitals, think of this video that I showed you. Maybe think twice before posting on social media, before just quickly jumping onto social media and start posting about Israel's war crimes. Guys, we're going to talk about reports of a potential ceasefire, but first, during the challenges of war, United Soup Kitchens is a beacon of hope, working tirelessly to bring warmth and support to those facing the hardships of this ongoing war. While ensuring families have a comforting meal on their tables, they've proudly distributed 10,000 cooked meals to Holocaust survivors, parents, and children. And while that's a lot, that's certainly not all that they do. Their dedication extends to all the hearts of Israel. This means they've delivered 6,000 daily meals to the elderly, a lifeline for those who depend on it as their primary source of nourishment. And those displaced families? They also helped them, handing out nearly 4,000 food cards to families seeking refuge in Jerusalem from the Gaza envelope. Every meal, every card, every act of kindness is a lifeline. Right now, we're inviting you to join us in this mission of compassion and support. United Soup Kitchens hasn't missed a beat. They've intensified their efforts to ensure every individual in Israel is fed and equipped with the essentials, including clothing for themselves and their families. You can be a part of this incredible mission. Let's stand together in support of United Soup Kitchens. Your contribution not only can, but will help them reach even greater heights in aiding the thousands of people who depend on their assistance. Click the link in the description below to make a difference today. So there are reports that Israel is considering another ceasefire, unfortunately. Yesterday, while briefing ambassadors and members of the diplomatic corps from 80 countries, President Isaac Herzog, Israel's President Isaac Herzog said this: Israel is ready for another humanitarian pause and additional humanitarian aid in order to enable the release of hostages. At this time, Hamas is still holding 129 hostages that we know of. Unfortunately, probably a lot of them are not alive anymore. You most likely saw it in the news the other day that 3 hostages were tragically shot by the IDF accidentally. So far, 110 have been released. This is from JNS, Jewish News Syndicate. Israeli leaders have signaled their willingness to negotiate another hostage exchange, with AFP reporting that Hamas leader Ismail Haniyeh will visit Egypt on Wednesday, today, to hold talks. So there's reports of that. And then yesterday, Netanyahu, he told the families of some of the hostages. He said, quote, "We are committed, and I am personally committed to the release of all the hostages. Rescuing them is the highest mission. Just now, I twice sent the director of the Mossad to Europe to advance a process for the release of our hostages. I will spare no effort on the matter, and the demand is to bring them all." According to CNN Political at a meeting on Monday in Warsaw between Mossad Director David Barnea, Qatari Prime Minister Mohammed bin Abdulrahman, it's a very long name, and CIA Director William Burns. Israel proposed a week-long pause in fighting in exchange for 40 hostages. That was according to CNN Political. A Qatari paper, quoting an Egyptian source, reported Tuesday that Hamas's leadership won't accept any Israeli hostage deal proposals that don't include a ceasefire as a good faith gesture. So, the reporting that Hamas is not going to release any hostages unless there is a ceasefire. It's a crazy world in which we have to negotiate with terrorists. I sincerely hope a ceasefire doesn't happen. I do not think that would be a good idea. It would only slow the IDF down in their mission and in what they're accomplishing in Gaza right now. It would only slow them down. Also give time for Hamas members to escape from the tunnels. Time for them to regroup, rearm, reorganize, and be ready for the IDF once they continue when the ceasefire is over. It's not confirmed that a ceasefire is actually going to happen. Remember, these are all just reports. However, we will see what happens in the coming days. So, guys, as you know, I like to end the show on a positive note. And I just wanted to play this video to warm your heart here at the end of today's show. This is just one of the many videos of IDF soldiers returning home to their families. Watch this.
לחזור הביתה, אחרי שלא הייתי כל הלילה, למצוא את השלווה שאני חי בה, לפשוט מעליי את החיים. איך אני אוהב לחזור הביתה, הלב של האישה שאני חי איתה, להחזיר את השפיות שלי אליי כבר, את כל הרגעים הרגילים.
That is just one of the countless heroes of the war with Hamas. There are many heroes in Israel's defense forces. Continue to lift them up in prayer. Pray for the nation of Israel as they make tough decisions. Pray for the leadership. Pray for the soldiers on the ground in Gaza. This is some of the roughest, some of the toughest urban warfare on planet Earth that is happening in Gaza. Crazy stuff happening. Guys, make sure to check out United Soup Kitchens. Go support them in their amazing work that they are doing. Don't forget to subscribe, get that conversation going down below. And as always, tune out the fake news and tune into what is actually happening here in the land of Israel. We'll be back every Monday through Friday with your direct connection to the land and people of Israel.